and welcome back to the Excel Masterclass. So in this session, I'm going to cover off the ISERROR formula, and it is quite useful, especially when working with a massive data set, because it just means that you don't get problems with errors. Now, there are various types of errors that you can get. They all probably mean different things. I have simulated an error in my spreadsheet. So what you can see is I have added a fruit at the bottom of this list. What I've done is I have put the cost of the fruit against or from this VLOOKUP table, but what you can see is I haven't put the pomegranate into that list. So what this error is basically saying is it can't find the fruit, so it doesn't know what cost to put in, so therefore it can't times it. And what that also means is I have gone ahead and summed. I've used my sum ifs function. So I have sum if this column here when apple, pear, orange, pomegranate applies. But because again there is an error there, there's an error there, which means that I've also just tried to do a sum here, and it hasn't been able to sum it because there's an error. So that error has translated from there to there to there, and that's going to cause problems. So, and it's just because I know what the error is in this circumstance. It's just because I haven't put the fruit in. If I actually put in pomegranate into here and I put, say, 50 pence in, then it would be able to, it wouldn't have an error anymore. It would be able to give me everything that I needed. But just in case there is a reason for the error, or maybe it's just not there because we shouldn't have sold it or something along those lines, or there's a rogue bit of data that shouldn't really be there, what you can use is a formula called ISERROR. Now, I haven't really introduced you to if formulas yet. An ISERROR is an if formula, so I'm going to introduce you to if formulas now. If is just really what you're saying is if there's a condition or something exists, then do one thing. If it doesn't, then do another. So you could do something like if something is greater than 20, then put in high. If something is lower than 20, then put in low. Something along those lines. That is what an if function is. So in this case, what I want to do is go if there is an error with this formula here, then put in, I don't know, 0, it, or put in nothing. If there is, if there's not an error, then actually do the calculation. So we need to put this, I'm just going to copy this, so it's still the same formula that we want. What I'm going to do is just type in if, open bracket, is error. So if there is an error, and then open bracket. So this is the that we want it to do this. So this is the value. So if there is an error with that formula there, what I would like it to do is 0 it. Just put a 0 in. If there is not an error, so then I would like to actually do that formula. And in fact, I need to put another bracket there because there is an if open bracket is error open bracket. So I need to put 2 brackets at the end as well. When you're doing formulas, that's quite important to know how many brackets you need to do. So, and then I'm just going to click enter. And what you can see is straight away, it's put a 0 in because I've told it to put a 0 in. If it can't find it, if there's an error in any way, put a 0 in there. And what that's meant is, everything else has not errored anymore. So now I can see the total value of that. It means that I don't have a value against pomegranate because it's not there. And it does also mean that if I put pomegranate in, and put in, let's say it was 50p, it will actually go and put it in because it's no longer an error. So instead of going and zeroing it yourself, if you put an is error in there, it means when you do correct the error, it does actually pick it up and put it in after all. So that is error. Thank you.